All right, so I'm here to make this quick video about Candace Owens, a black woman famous for hating black people, and in this case specifically black men. She says that LeBron James is all brawn and no brains, which is totally unfounded since the man did at least graduate high school, which is the only thing she did, seeing that she is a college dropout herself. Look at the irony. Just a moment.
Oh, LeBron James, where do we begin? All right, well, I'll tell you the headline here. His I Promise school is failing. But before we talk about that, let's just talk about my general commentary regarding LeBron James that has earned me the ire of the black community because how dare you insult one of our kings, King James? Oh my God, he can put the basketball in the net and like, oh my gosh, Candace, that means he's a king or something like that. No, that's really stupid. It's really stupid to believe that we should be following the ideas of someone who is, in fact, a remarkable athlete. And I'm glad that he has this incredible athleticism. It's wonderful to watch him play basketball. But why do we listen to LeBron James? LeBron James, in my view, is all brawn and no brains. And I have said this repeatedly, and I'm going to just unpack this for you slowly before we get to the obvious failures of his school, which I said years ago. Nobody ever gives me any credit for being right? I'm just being a hater. I just hate him because he's a strong black man who knows how to play basketball or something ridiculous like that. So LeBron James obviously does not read books. He is not clever. He is not smart. He is not what Kobe Bryant was, but he wants you to believe he is, which is why he is often seen holding a book and always remarkably reading the very first page when he has photogs catching him reading a book. Here is a meme generally showing that. It's showing you 8 pictures. What are the odds? 8 pictures of the paparazzi catching him reading the first page of a book. That's because this is marketing. LeBron James is trying to sell to you that he's got intellectual prowess. He has none. If you need further evidence of that, here is when he is caught off guard and report.
So, let's see how much intellectual prowess Candace Owens has. So, as we can see here when we do a simple Google search, that Candace Owens pursued an undergraduate degree in journalism at the University of Rhode Island. She dropped out after her junior year because of an issue with her student loan. Are we sure it wasn't an issue with her intellectual prowess? I mean, I know we don't have absolute evidence that that's the reason, but we don't have absolute evidence that LeBron James has no brains either, now do we? Especially since he had enough common sense wisdom to gain $1 billion of net worth. Going to the NBA does not guarantee that you're going to be worth $1 billion. You need brains to do that. Afterwards, she worked as an intern for Vogue magazine in New York. In other words, Candace Owens did what she does best, run her mouth and produce absolutely nothing of any value. This is not to insult journalists. I'm not saying that we don't need journalists, but we do not need journalists who are biased against a certain group of people, especially and ironically when he or she, in this case, is against their own people. You can't make this stuff up. Now, let's allow Candace Owens to continue her insult of LeBron James.
On this book report regarding this book that I didn't read. This is what LeBron James is. And people are upset with me for calling it out. You can like him as an athlete. He's not an intellect. And so when he announced that he was opening the I Promise school, I obviously was critical of this because you cannot give people handouts. It does not work. The students have to do the work. You can't say, oh, because you're black, you just needed a school. And he said, I'm going to guarantee every kid a scholarship to college.
We're going to check and see if all of the children at this school are black or if LeBron James is helping children also who are not black. Candace Owens will not do that because she wants you to think that all of the children who failed the math test at this school are black. But when I show you that they are white and Asian and Latino as well, and some of them have multiple races, then you will begin to see the hypocrisy and the venom, vitriol, and hatred which she has of her own people. Let's continue.
As if that's going to work. That's not how it works in a meritocracy, right? These children have to actually want to do well in school, and it turns out that they don't want to do well in school. Yes, not a single 8th grade student has passed state math test in 3 years at the I Promise School, which is based in Akron, Ohio. And
so she just said those students do not want to learn, right? But that's because she wants you and I to think that all of them are black. Just a moment. Okay, so here we are at an article/report about the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio, as you see here. And the year of this report is 2021. So the time of this recording is August 1st, 2023. So this definitely fits into those last 3 years in which Candace Owens gleefully and happily speaks about the children failing. And you can tell by how happy she is to report on the failure of Lebron's I Promise School that she would not prefer to report success. She's glad that his school is failing. But let's get down to the total enrollment. 452 students, as you see here. Overview of I Promise School. I Promise School is a public school. So first of all, this is not a private school just for black children or African American children. This is a public school that he founded because that is where he came from. That is where he grew up. It's not just for black students, but the student population is 452. Now let's get to the statistics. You see here where it says the school's minority student enrollment is 85%. That's why I don't like that word minority, because everyone has hijacked that term and they make it mean black when it's something negative, but they make it mean everybody else when they're trying to get government benefits off of our civil rights struggle. You have LGBT, you have white women, you have Mexicans, you have everybody else, Asians, Stop Asian Hate. Everybody wants to be a minority when they want to piggyback or ride on the wave of the civil rights struggle. But when it's something negative like this, she wants you to think that all 85% of these people are black. So let me show you that that's a lie. Right here, 58.6% are black or African American. So let's do the math, right? We're going to say 452 students times 58.6%. That would mean 264 approximately of these students are black. So how many of them are not black? 187. You know what that means? That means there are 187 of them who are a mixture of white, Asian, or Asian Pacific Islander, 2 or more races, or Hispanic and Latino, who all failed the math test as well. So is Candace going to say that these white families and white students did not want to learn, that they just want a handout? You see? So this is my point. Nobody is celebrating that any of these children are failing a math test, except for Candace Owens, because she thinks this is another opportunity to insult a black man and to insult black people in general. She wants you to think that these children failed because their parents are somehow low lives or evil or deadbeats, drug addicts, etc., etc. Well, if that's the case, that means these white parents and children are low lives, evil, and deadbeats as well. And so are the Asians and whatever races these are, and so are the Hispanic and Latino. You understand what I'm saying? So we're tired of the BS, Candace. You can take your self-loathing, self-hating ass back to the rock from which you crawled. Just a moment. All right, now we're going to show you a little bit about Candace Owens' past. Let's take a look. Racist threats case filed by Stamford High student settled for $37,500. None other than Candace Owens when she was in high school. The same black woman who says that racism and white supremacy is not a problem here. Why did she file a lawsuit and get paid? Right? For racism. See, these are the damn lies that I hate and that anyone, look, who does have some intellectual prowess should hate. See? Degree 180 CEO. You probably ain't heard of that, have you? Candace Owens speaks about racism and bullying at her home office in Stamford, Connecticut, Monday, February 29th, 2016. Owens was bullied with racist threats as a student in high school and is now launching an anti-bullying website, Social Autopsy, which launches its beta version on Friday, March 4th. You can't make this stuff up. But she says pull up by your own bootstraps and there is no racism now. So I guess the racism disappeared after her lawsuit where she got paid with some help or input from the NAACP, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. The school board has 30 days from the settlement date to pay the Owens family by check to their attorney, Norman Pattis. The entire $62,500 tab will come out of a $375,000 legal fund. And so if you cut that $62,500 in half or something like that, that's probably how the family and or Candace Owens got this amount here. Because a lot of times these attorneys take half of the settlement for themselves, which is another issue altogether. So, I thought there was no racism. Why didn't she pull her ass up by her bootstraps in this matter that we're reading about? You see, it's okay if she's the Negro that's getting paid, whether she's on the side of complaining about racism or now on the side of pretending that there is no racism or bias. You can't make this stuff up. One moment. Now, as you can see here on the screen, unlike Candace Owens, LeBron James has a net worth of $1 billion in 2023. And he did not get it by filing a lawsuit about racism. Look at the irony. See, what degree can you get from Harvard or Vanderbilt or Yale or Oxford or whatever school you go, be it master's, bachelor's, or PhD, that's going to guarantee you or even estimate that you will earn $1 billion during your career? Slim to none. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very slim. So I think that LeBron James had the good sense to go straight from high school to the NBA, because a wise man will create wealth first and worry about a damn degree, if ever, later on. You understand? But she dropped out of college is what I want to show you all, right? And has the nerve to say that this man is not an intellectual. Since she doesn't have a college degree, all she has is a high school diploma, to my knowledge. How is that any better than LeBron? So stop the hate. She needs to stop the self-hate, right? She really does, because that is what she's doing. And these people are going to show her who they are and who she is if a war or some other calamity breaks out. See, she claims to be a Republican / conservative / Christian woman with faith. So perhaps she needs to see what's coming when the Messiah himself stated, "Nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom." The world is not going to unite in peace, Candace Owens. All the people are going to turn to their own people before Christ returns. So if you're a woman of faith, you better stop hating your people, because guess what? That's your nation, whether you like it or not. Your nation is not determined by your flag only. It's not determined by a damn social security card or birth certificate. It's determined by your bloodline. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. If you're a Republican, conservative, Christian woman, you better believe that. You're dishonoring your father and mother when all you do is bring out insults and amplify that which can make black people look bad, not because you want them to do better, but because you earn finance by pandering to these sick Caucasians who only support you because you make them feel superior to us by your continual assault of your own people. See how many Caucasian women you can get from your audience to get up there and insult their man every day, to insult their own sisters and brothers every day, so that Negroes will pay them. They won't do it. Your chances of finding that will be slim to none because they're not as stupid as you are. Have a good day.